Hey guys, EDDBUD here, back again with one of those long run tests, this time of the Under Armour Flow Velociti Wind. Hello people of the earth, running man EDDBUD back again on your televisor. A long run review today of the Under Armour Flow Velociti Wind. 12 miles total, which is just under 20 kilometres, 19.31 kilometres. If you want to be really precise. Around about 7 minutes 46 per mile average, which equates to 4 minutes 49 per kilometre, just to make sure everybody's happy. I did chuck in a couple of faster efforts earlier in the run, so in the first half, on miles 2, 4 and 6, just to keep those old giraffe legs turning over. The weather was so lovely today as well, it just felt wrong to run at steady speed. I wanted to blast through the air, to feel the wind flowing through my hair. Well, I don't really have much hair anymore, so it was flowing through my beard. So today, using the tech-equipped Flow Velociti Wind from Under Armour, I didn't take my phone with me though. I was content with letting the shoe record the info for me and then accessing it later on after I'd finished, while I was having a nice cup of coffee. I think the shoe's supposed to be aimed at more tempo running, faster paced stuff, rather than those slower sessions, but a shoe needs to be tested, and the only way to do it is to run. Sort of makes sense, I suppose. It didn't really feel like the route was too hilly today, but when I look back, it was pretty much all uphill up to a certain point. There was a few points where it kind of leveled off, but yeah, it didn't feel like that. Before we get to the next part of the video, guys, it really does help the channel out if you'd hit that subscribe button and also click the bell below for notifications of when we launch those new videos. And give this video a thumbs up like. Beast would be most appreciative of that. Ah, Beast. How you doing? Beast is here, just in case you were wondering where she was. Mwah. It was awesome today. I managed to run pretty much about 6 of those 12 miles with one of the club members. I saw Paul Card running towards me at some point, and then he joined up and we just carried on running. It was great. Really enjoyable having someone to talk to for once out there. I've been running pretty much alone for over a year. Awesome seeing you out there today, Paul. I hope we get to run together again very soon. So 616 foot of elevation on today's run, which equates to 188 meters. So some slow climbs there, just making sure to keep the heart rate nice and consistent, just adjusting the effort levels where required. So how did the Flow Velociti Wind hold up today on the long run? Short answer, very, very good. But you're here for the specifics, aren't you? Otherwise, I have to say, a sublime long run experience today. No blisters, no rubbing, as we've had on previous recent long runs. Not naming any shoes. No blisters, no rubbing, a really nice performance. You could say as smooth as a Santi Cazorla saute into the opposition half. What a player he was. Lockdown remained consistent over the foot throughout the run. I didn't really have any thought actually about the shoe in general. It just performed excellently. The tongue did appear to take on a little bit of hard-earned sweat, hard-earned effort, but that's fully understandable, isn't it, over a longer run. Strange actually, the back of the shoe, there's only zonal padding there, it really didn't seem to absorb too much sweat. The upper just felt containing and fitting, just like on my initial runs. I think it definitely feels best with the pinkish laces there. They perform much better than the other laces. Of course I am joking now, right? Seriously though, they remained consistent. I didn't feel the laces started to loosen up or anything like that. I just tied them up. I didn't really even think about it. Just chucked the shoes on and tightened them up, got out there, and before I knew it, 12 miles on the books. I think 12 was probably a good distance today, slowly racking the mileage back up. I think we're at 48 miles for the week, which is fantastic really. Could have kept on rolling afterwards and the upper would have been fine. So yeah, upper passed the test. Midsole wise, no real moments today where I thought,
why on earth did I wear this shoe?
I think that's always a bit of a bonus. Sometimes on a long run you can try a shoe out and you think to yourself, it'll get better. It'll get better. It doesn't, does it? It never does. I think it either starts out okay and remains that way, or yeah, it doesn't ever get better, does it? Not on a long run. I think when you get to like 6 or 7 miles on a long run and you're getting further away from where you need to get back to, yeah, that's not a good point for a shoe not to work. You don't want to get any rubbing issues there. No issues here though, in the midsole, felt good all the way. I think the big difference with this shoe is that it's the same midsole foam on the outsole. It's one of these ground contact foams, and it really does work. I was a bit dubious at first, but yeah, it certainly works. Works for me at least. No complaints for me at steady pace today in the shoe, though I'd say it's hardly a tour of the mattress factory. If you're after considerable cushion, then you got to look elsewhere. There's enough there for me, but I'm quite a light runner. I think if you're a heavier built, then it might not work quite so well. It's a more respectable type of cushion here, more subtle. As I say, perhaps aimed at more tempo work, faster paced stuff, but it did the job today. Fine at those aerobic paced miles of mine, and snappier on the quicker efforts as well early on. I think they were around about 420 per kilometre. I think the lower profile upper here is partly responsible for that more nimble feel. And I couldn't help but feel that I was wearing the endorphin speed at times. It really does feel like that, certainly in terms of the upper. Perhaps the speed's a little bit more cushioned underfoot, but it did get me thinking. Not perhaps as explosive as the speed when you want to turn up the pace, but a very stable and comfortable midsole in its own right. Under Armour reckon that there's a 26mm heel stack in this shoe. It's certainly more in my size, and I certainly feel that aids in the stability of the shoe. Yeah, I think there's about 8mm more in my size, so maybe that 26 is for like a US 8.5 or something. Not a hint of ankle crunching incidents here, and zero issues to report. I think in terms of heel stack, I'm just tall enough already, so lower stuff tends to just feel more natural to me. Certainly on those longer, easier runs. Outsole observations now, and boy, does it grip. I'm certain that this outsole pretty much mimics the Steph Curry basketball shoe, and that chap must be able to perform ankle breakers at an audacious frequency with the protrusion party that you've got going on here. It gripped the roads and pavements really well, and gave assured traction up the many hills of fair Yeovil town. No stones were transported over the distance, and there's very little wear on the Flow ground contact material. Imagine this shoe without the inner tech, if they removed that, and instead inserted a nylon plate. I think that would be a very tasty prospect. I'm talking Italian base, tangy tomato, and then that warm, inviting cheese. All in all, a very positive experience on the long run today in the Under Armour Flow Velociti Wind. Felt great over the larger distance, which for me elevates it into a higher realm. I mean, in terms of versatility, I could probably run anything in this really. It felt good going at pace. It didn't feel like I was having to place more effort into my run. Bit of a do-it-all shoe. Fast sessions, slower saunters, lengthy distances, and shorter splurges. I'll certainly get some more miles into this shoe over the coming months and give you an update very soon. Have you picked up a pair of these? I'm really interested to see what your opinions and thoughts are. Please let me know down in the comments. A quick musical epilogue for you. I'm not sure what drove me to go and listen to them again, but I started listening to some of the Beatles' older albums, you know, some of their first albums. I really love the energy there that's present in those early recordings. It's raw, there's a lot of pace to the songs, and some of the covers of the rock and roll tracks are fantastic. Roll Over Beethoven, for example, it just rocks. It's got that swing to it. The delivery as well, the vocals just rough and ready. Some ruggedness about it that I think's missing a little bit down the line when the edges get chiselled off. I've always loved the track I Want to Be Your Man as well. It's a great tune. It almost feels to me a little bit like a homage to Bo Diddley, perhaps. It's got this sort of pulsating guitar part in the verse. It's fantastic. I've always loved Ringo's version of Honey Don't. That track by Carl Perkins originally. Ringo does it proud. It's a real good tune. I used to love the fact they used to let Ringo do a couple of tunes here or there. I think that people loved each of the members of the band, and they used to have to move the spotlight around and give them a chance to shine. So go and check out some of those early albums from the Beatles. I think they're often overlooked for some of the more famous albums like Abbey Road and Sgt. Pepper's and stuff, so go and check them. It's time for me to rock and roll out of here. Thanks for watching through to the very end of the video today, guys. If you haven't done so already, it does really help the channel out if you'd hit that subscribe button and also click the bell below for notifications of when the new videos launch. And it helps us to get to the toppermost of the poppermost of the YouTube algorithm if you give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you